Good morning, folks. Howdy. Yeehaw with the yeehaw and all that. What I'm going to talk about today is drama. It's not necessary. Folks, here's what I have found over the years that happens. People talk. They get together and talk. What happens is you got person A and person B. Person A is saying something to person B. Person B is sitting there hearing what person A is saying, but they're not paying attention to and listening with their brain what person A is saying. Then what happens is the important parts of what person A says gets cut out and replaced with what person B thinks person A is thinking, and then responds accordingly. Well, there you go. We got drama. Because person B has just misunderstood what person A was trying to say. And then they go off the grid. Why do you say that? Well, that's not what I said. I said, no, you said, no. Person A did say that. You cut out what they did say and you put in what you think they think. What's bad is, I've seen this happen even in type. People will take and they'll read a comment and they won't read what's actually there. They'll cut out the important parts and put in what they think that person thinks. And then person A will go off the grid, and that same process will start kicking in with them. So you're not actually listening to each other. You're hearing each other talk at each other instead of to each other. And then you got two mad, pissed off people. And it might take up to years for one of them to realize what really happened. If ever. And that's just a crying shame, folks. Because a lot of that happens because several ways it happens. But one of them is because, well, I didn't actually catch what that person said, or they used a word that they didn't understand. And instead of feeling like they're going to look like they stupid for asking and making sure of what was said, they just react to what they think was said. When all you got to do is ask for a little clarification. I say, I got bad hearing. I'm all the time mishearing things that Elaine says. So I will ask her what was said because, what? And she can tell you, I've heard some way off the wall things from what she actually said.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because of my hearing. Then people wind up getting into a trend of, it's gotten so bad that people do this subconsciously, not realizing they're doing it. Because they never stop to check themselves. Another way it happens is somebody might jump in on the middle of a conversation, and rather than trying to catch up, they just knee-jerk off of what part they caught and run with it. And everybody else is looking around like, what just happened? Where'd they get that from? Because the person jumped into the middle of something, not understanding what was going on, and just assumed, and y'all know what that when you assume what that makes out of that and me. You know, that you and me, yeah, that's what it makes. Because people won't slow down and take the time to clarify a situation or something that has been said. Makes drama unnecessary. When me and Elaine got together, I told her, I ain't about no BS and I ain't about no drama. She said, thank God I ain't neither. You know, we weren't in a relationship, we weren't about a lot of the petty crap that a lot of relationships go through. Because they get together, but then they want to do their own thing. You know, relationships, especially marriage, folks, is about two people getting together fighting for a common goal. Not you do your thing, I do mine. Me, I wanted to do woodworking, and I still do a little piddling with it every once in a while. But I had wanted to get the tools to be able to make a shop and start making stuff that I could sell and, you know, maybe make us some money off of that. And then one day, God hit her with, why not? On doing a YouTube channel cooking. She does it anyway. So she approached me with it, and I said, shoot, yeah, run it. And since then, I do what I can to help facilitate what she wants to do. You know, I'm a good helper. I can lead, I can help. And she's a good leader. She ain't too good with help. But she's a great leader. So since I can do both, I get in where I fit in and do what I can to help her do what she wants to do on this thing. I've had fun doing it. But all of this has taken being able to communicate with each other. And sometimes we have some, you know, rough gravel to go over doing that sometimes. But we get through. Because why? We clarify this or that. Whatever it is. Might be something you know, I thought, no. It might be something else. I'll say, I thought. No. Well, that old saying, that's what you get for thinking. That's what causes that. You get to thinking it was one thing because you didn't fully pay attention to it in the first place. And then, oops, there you go. You just made a fool of yourself. There ain't nothing wrong with that as long as you are willing to admit you were wrong. There ain't nothing with admitting that you're wrong because, you know, the quicker you realize you were wrong so you can start being right, the quicker things start going better. Don't be afraid to say I'm wrong. Don't be afraid to say I'm sorry. A lot of people get too full of pride to want to do either one of those things, and they want things to be the way they want things to be, regardless whether it's in its reality or not. They want it, regardless. And you can't do that and get anywhere in life, folks. You can't be, you know, in a relationship or in a friendship. You can't be two separate entities wanting to do two different things and forcing the other one to do what you want to do. You have to be compatible to begin with. You have to have common goals to begin with. Now, you don't necessarily have to see everything eye to eye. As long as it ain't affecting the friendship and the goals you have, as long as it ain't affecting the relationship and the goals you have, or the marriage and the goals you have, it just means, you know, you got things you like to do, they got things they like to do, but as long as it doesn't mess up the common goals that you have for each other, for your lives together, that's all good. But if you thought you heard something wrong, or if you didn't understand something, don't be afraid to ask to get clarification. Because when you look stupid, it's not when you ask for clarification. It's when you don't. You assume and you go off of that. The only one you're making look stupid is yourself. You're looking pretty smart when you ask for clarification. That means you're showing you wanting to make sure you understand so that you can avoid problems. And likewise with the person that you are looking at when you're doing it. As long as you're doing that. And folks, that means slowing down a little bit when communicating to make sure everything is fully understood. Yeah, I watch comments go by and comments get cut off and the full thought that was given is not what is conveyed when spoken, and it gets messed up, and the commenter has to go back and say, no, thus and so. And maybe that re-comment will get caught, maybe it won't, so as to get that clarification. If we all in such a hurry to read everything, to say everything, to do everything, that's where we mess up. Because in order to catch everything, we're only catching part of it and running with it and going on, and then there we got a misunderstanding. When that misunderstanding was totally unnecessary. You know, people getting upset because, well, they didn't see my comment. Well, shoot, a bunch of us are old, can't read that fast. And you got 20, 30 comments running through at the same time. You try to catch what you can, and somebody going to get butt hurt because their comment didn't get read. The way I figured, somebody on there is going to see the comment I put on there. Maybe it'll be the person on the live. Maybe it'll be somebody in the comment section. Somebody will catch it. And if I think it's really important, I'll keep putting it in there until the person running the live actually sees it. Or somebody that can get their attention towards it does that. It ain't a big deal. If it's really that important, you can send a message to that person. It's not a big deal. Everybody wants to be heard, but nobody wants to actually pay attention and listen. Well, there are a few that do. Mike's real good about catching most things. And he's pretty quick about picking up on what's there. Yeah, so I got to commend him on his. There's a few others that try their best to catch everything. Joy's pretty good about it.
Joy's really good about catching stuff.
But, you know, and that's the thing. That's how she does pretty good, because she catches it, actually pays attention, and avoids a lot of misunderstandings. And that's how she can see a lot of sides to everything. Because she's catching it all. Same with Mike. You know, that's all it takes, folks. Just slow down a little bit. Put a little less emphasis on wanting to be heard, and a little more emphasis on paying attention. Actually listening. I tell Elaine a lot of times, listen to the words I actually use, not just hear them. You know, she gets focused on stuff, and she's got her mind set on the direction she wants to go, and that's what causes her a lot of times to not hear what was actually said, because she's already thinking in her mind, you know, way things are going, and a lot of times she sees them in a different direction than what I've said on something. So we have to haggle that out and get a little clarification on that. But the easiest thing to do seems to be the hardest thing for folks to do in order to avoid misunderstandings, for fear of looking stupid for having had to ask. Folks, you look more stupid when you get it wrong because you decided to assume because you didn't actually pay attention in the first place. You know, that's children. Children do that. Let's quit being children. Start being adults. And let's have what all this is meant to be for all of us. Have fun. That's what this is all about. We share our lives with each other to have fun. Life's hard enough and bad enough on its own without us having no little petty squabbles because of childlike actions and reactions. Piggy loves you. That's all I got.